What's up, guys? It's your boy Kazaris, and I am back with a fun deck profile for now. It is Kashtira pre-Photon Hypernova. Once they get their new support in Photon Hypernova, they get pretty degenerate. So I just wanted to play something different. I was sick of Sprite and Tier. And this deck is really cool. It can do some really cool things to Tier. And if you know how to play it well, then the matchup becomes really easy. So I can explain everything after I show you the deck profile. We'll do a little combo. So first up, we have Kashtira Fenrir, of course, 3 of it. This, surprisingly, is not the best card in the deck. The best card in the deck is Unicorn. Even now, post-Photon Hypernova, it definitely is, but even now, it allows you to search Kashtira Birth, which is your grind game and your extender, because it lets you normal summon these without tributing. Like, I want to start with Unicorn. I really almost never want to start with Fenrir. Like, if I'm going second, it's good to force things. Like, if I know they're going to get rid of it, then I can follow it up with like a Unicorn or something, bring the Fenrir back, stuff like that. But Unicorn is just crazy. Birth is wild as well. And then post the new stuff, you get a summon from deck off of Unicorn, which is just crazy. 3 Ogre. Whoops, the glare is a little bad. Definitely not the best one. Especially, I don't think I play this post new stuff. But for now, it's like your only other level 7. You just need level 7 extenders. It can search you a trap card, which is pretty decent. It's kind of like Birth, except it summons from hand or banished instead of grave. So not summoning from grave makes it much worse. But you can do it on the opponent's turn, which is cool. I'll explain that when I get to it. So 3 Birth, of course. I always want to play 2, but like, you just need it. If they clear it, having extra, like if they clear your board, just having like being able to summon Unicorn, grab Birth, summon Fenrir, grab Ogre, normal summon Ogre. You just go like +4 on the next turn because after they clear your board. If they don't end on any interruptions, of course. But like if they had to waste their hand to like clear your board and it's like a simplified game state, Unicorn just gets you everything back because it gets you Birth. So being able to have multiple is good. And like opening it is fine too if they interrupt the Unicorn. Just being able to normal summon everything. And then 1 Kashtira Preparations. You don't play this or Ogre come the new stuff, I don't think. But it's decent. So it can summon from hand or banished any Kashtira. And then after resolution of your opponent's trap card, while this is already face up and you control a Kashtira, you get to look at your opponent's hand and banish a card face down. So like against back row decks, if you definitely want to get access to this, because like every time they get a card, if they do anything in like the draw phase or the standby phase before playing the card they draw, you get to like look at it and banish it face down, and just keep them off a few resources, which is really nice. And then now into generic rank 7s, Ascended of Thunder. It is a hefty cost, 3,000, but then so like if it's getting close to time, you can summon this, pay 3,000, and then just go to battle phase, crash it, gain 5,000, and then do everything main phase 2, and then just play until the clock. And just be up in life. I don't try to play for the clock with this deck, but you definitely can. Just because Tier takes so long that you need to have ways to account for that. You can play Red as Flare Metal in the extra deck. I didn't play it now because you just need room for other stuff. 2 Astral Karibo. This card becomes level 7 by revealing a number of rank 7, and then it can summon itself as the same level as that rank. And then, but it only locks you into number exceeds. So I can only summon Diablosis or Big Eye with this. But they can't die by battle card effects, which is nice. It's just not the best level 7 because I cannot make Draco Sack. I'll explain that in a second. So Instant Contact, just another 3 level 7 extenders. Once per turn, whereas Ascended of Thunder is not. So if you have this in Ascended of Thunder, it's 4,000 life, but it's a lot of extension and you can do some cool plays. Moving on, we have the Adventure Engine. So 3 Water Enchantress, 2 Right. The bad hands are when you open too many Brave cards. Like, I don't want to only be able to do Brave things. So I did cut 1 Right. I really thought about cutting more. I'll explain it in a second, but you can get access to Water Enchantress very easily. So Draco Faithful, and Wandering Griffin Rider. No Illegal Knight, you don't need it. I just don't want more bricks. Because, like, you can't summon a Kashtira and a Legal Knight or Griffin Rider because they require you to control no monsters or a token. But like if you don't have access to the token, then you'd not be able to summon both. And I never want to search a Legal Knight over Griffin Rider. So 3 Prosperity. You just need to see a different extender. You just need more cards. Talent was great. 3 shifter and 3 imperm. This is still a shifter deck. You put them under shifter, and then it doesn't really conflict with anything. Like, you can even still do brave stuff under shifter. You just have to, like, you can't discard Draco back and re-equip it. You have to discard something else. But then if you like discard a Kashtira, it gets banished, and then you can summon it back with birth. It's really not that bad. Shifter is great, and it's an easy side out against Flunder and stuff like that. So moving on to the extra deck. 2 Diablosis, the Mind Hacker. This can deck out people very easily. Like, if the game goes long enough, eventually you'll like be banishing one other extra deck face down, and then you'll be banishing like 10 or 11 cards off the top of their deck. And if you can do that once against tier, even no matter how many shufflers they have, they're going to deck out before. And if you make this with Astral Karibo, and banish Zeus and Kaleido Heart from their extra deck, that's the thing. People think you banish Kit with this. If you can only banish one, you usually banish Kit, just so it makes them makes it harder for them to play. But if you have this and Unicorn, so on your turn you'll banish Kaleido Heart or Zeus. You'll banish Zeus face down, and then as soon as they activate any monster effect, Unicorn's going to trigger on the resolution to banish Kaleido Heart face down. And then they can't really do much. Like, they have no win condition. Like, they can make Rule Callous, but Rule Callous into an established board doesn't do anything. I don't care about that. I can just banish it with Fenrir. And then, like, Kit can grab stuff and Soliek, and, like, they can make Draco Stapelia, but they're not outing your established board. With you're not getting wiped by Zeus, and you're not getting shuffled back multiple times with Kaleido Heart. So it's just, you banish those 2, and then it becomes extremely difficult for them to win. Like, they can win. I have lost, but like, it's just my my overall board needs to be bad. Like, if I have like only Diablosis and Unicorn and nothing else, then it's like kind of breakable. Like, if I have Diablosis, Unicorn, Griffin Rider, Token, Birth, Trap, it's just like, it's really hard for them to win. 1 Kashtira Shangri-Ara. So for those who don't know what this card does, every standby phase, it allows you to summon a Kashtira from your deck. So it's like totally awesome in that sense. So if you shifted them, I typically just go for this, because if it's a tier deck, they're just going for Baguska or something. And if you make this with the adventure token stuff, it's really easy, because they put Baguska in defense and pass, and then you just bounce it with the adventure token. So if they can't do that, maybe they'll try to go for Zeus, but you want to banish that with Unicorn if you can. Because like, if they go, you want to like summon a Unicorn off this, and then when they go Keldo effect under shifter, you Unicorn banish Zeus, and then they're just like making Baguska, and then you bounce it with adventure token. So this card's really cool. Every time a card is banished face down, it's a Drama King. You target a zone and lock it, but any zone, front row or back row. So this card's really cool, not once per turn. And then if it were to die, you can detach a material instead. So it's got like Dingirsu protection, totally awesome, summon every standby phase. If you don't have access to like a ton of Kashtiras, or like you can only shifter them, I usually just make this, because if they can't play, then I'm gonna kill them on the next turn, because I'm just summoning 1 and then 2 and then Unicorn Search, Fenrir Search, someone activate Birth, and then it's game over from there. 1 Big Eye, 1 Draco Sack. Shout out to Dragon Rulers. Big Eye's crazy. Just take their guy. Just as good of an effect as always. And then Draco Sack. So this is the star of the show. So Draco Sack reads, you can detach a material to summon 2 Mechaphana Beast tokens, level 3. What uses level 3s? Cherubini. So you use 2 level 7s to make Draco Sack, both tokens to make Cherubini. Cherubini send water Enchantress. You do full right combo. So that's what that's what I was doing all weekend at Philly Regional. I was 4-1-1, 4 wins, a loss and a draw. I lost a tier. I just got really unlucky, and he got really lucky. I set up like shifter with Shangri-Ra and the Griffin Rider, and he had imperm for the Griffin Rider, imperm for the Shangri-Ra, and then a way to get Diablosis into Zeus. I'm like, it was just really unfortunate. So I was doing that combo all weekend. I scrubbed out. I misplayed against Branded. I should have been 5-1-1, and then I had to win 2 more. But the deck did well. I misplayed, but the deck was doing really well and was performing exactly as I intended it to. So I'm proud of that for sure. I myself messed up. It was unfortunate, but I beat 2 tier, lost to a tier, and then I drew with the tier. Game 1 he got me, and then game 2 we had like 20 minutes left. But like I was up on life, and I had made both Diablosis with Astral Karibo in defense position. So you can't destroy them by battle, you can't destroy them by card effect. And I had banished his Kaleido Heart and Zeus face down. And I'm pretty sure I banished his Sulliek face down as well, off of like the secondary effect. So he had no win condition. He could not destroy this, and he had no other way to out it because his Zeus and his Kaleido Heart were gone. And he just wasn't scooping. So we drew. I don't know why I didn't try to win, but it is what it is. I mean, I had to play for the deck out because like I knew it was inevitable. I didn't banish any of his shufflers, so he kept shuffling stuff back, and I couldn't deck him out in time. But like I was going to eventually. But yeah, so this couldn't die, and he just didn't realize that. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, and Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overlord. So the plays with this is 2 level 7s makes Absolute Dragon. In the extra monster zone, you link it for Gravity Controller. If this exceeds summon card is sent to the graveyard, you get to summon any Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. You summon a Rebellion Dragon. Overlord can overlay right on top of Rebellion Dragon, and then if it has an Exceeds monster's material, it can attack 3 times. So 2 level 7s is 10,000 damage essentially. So if you stop them if you shifted them and they pass, well, I guess you can't kill them because this has to go to Rave. But like, so if you're going first, you shift to them on your turn, you make Shangri-La in defense position, and then like Griffin Rider token, you can summon a level 7 on their turn, summon a level 7 on your turn if they can't do anything because they lose the shifter. And then now shifter's over, you put up 10,000 damage, you kill them. Or just like if in an open game state, making 2 7s into 10,000 damage is just really good. I didn't get to do it, but like there were 2 scenarios where I was going to do it, but then my opponent scooped. So it's definitely possible. And then 1 Zeus. Zeus is crazy. Gotta play Zeus. It's an Exceeds deck, Gravity Controller, and Cherubini, just the 2 links that you need. And then I played Natis and Garura. I played Ultimate Slayer and Super Poly in the side deck. Just to be able to like shuffle back Rule Kalos and then pop Field Spell. That way and then turn off Sulliek. It's just like a 3-for-1. So you get rid of their tier to turn off Sulliek, and then you pop the Field Spell so that they can't use the shufflers to pop you. It's just really crazy. Only bad thing is if they make Elf. They're not always going to be able to make Elf, but if they do, then you can't target them, which is unfortunate. But it's worth the risk. You also have Shifter and Imperm and stuff like that to like slow them down. So Ultimate Slayer is definitely good. And then you have Evenly Matched as well. Maybe it's not needed, but I wanted to try it. I didn't draw it ever, so I'm not exactly sure. It's worked out on DB, but I don't know. Garura for Super Poly. Super Poly I only put in against Sprite, because this deck struggles to deal with Sprite sometimes because Toad is a bitch. Like you can just but you can't just like summon a guy attack because they have Smashers and Double Cross as well, which is the issue. And then if you go to battle and they do it there, then you can't get another guy out. So like Ascended of Thunder helps with that sometimes, because you can summon like a Fenrir and then pay 3,000 special Ascended of Thunder that doesn't activate. You have 2 guys to try and attack over Toad and get some get some outs to the board. But Super Poly definitely helps. You just hit Elf, Red, or Carrot, and then you're able to play. You can put this in the extra monster zone and then link it off for Gravity Controller to draw a card to try and push. And then an Air Neos and an Aqua Neos. So this technically it should be 2 Air Neos, but like I'm not paying $300 for a fucking for a Garnet essentially, for like a normal monster. It's just like a ready fusion target. You're just summoning 2 level 7s. You're summoning a level 7, but it's got to be Air Neos because so Unicorn and Instant Contact summon wins. So against the bird deck, if they have Bear, Statue, M-Pen, ideally no trap card, but like that's not always, but like because like they're able to use a trap card to summon Ryza and just like stop this play. But in theory, Unicorn in defense, grab Birth, Instant Contact, summon Air Neos, both wins, overlay for Draco Sack, In defense, also wind. Detach, summon both tokens, which are wind. Detach unicorn. Tribute a token, pop the M-Pen. Birth, summon back unicorn and attack over barrier statue. All without your normal summon. So if they have map up, they don't get to trigger that, and you get to clear the board, which is pretty neat for sure. Or alternatively, you can keep both tokens, tribute Draco Sack, pop M-Pen, attack over barrier statue, use both tokens to make Cherubini send right. That's probably better. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't play any birds. I didn't get a chance to do it, but like that's the theory behind it. So technically, Araneos is correct, but I don't think you'll get punished if you aren't able to play the Araneos. My friend had one, and thankfully I was able to borrow it. But yeah, so any 2 7s is Draco Sack. So for example, if we open Unicorn and Ascended of Thunder, let's say. So we'll go Unicorn effect, special summon it, we'll grab Birth. We will special summon Ascended of Thunder, pay 3,000. Or you can activate Birth and normal summon it. Depends on your hand. Like if it's just these two. Like if I have another Kashtira like Fenrir, I'll typically normal summon the Fenrir and then overlay with a Fenrir. That way I can reborn the Fenrir and use it because I can't use normal summon monsters effect with right. So you gotta keep that in mind. But for now, we'll just normal summon this overlay for the Draco Sack in defense. We'll detach the unicorn because we can reborn that later. We'll summon 2 Slimy Boy tokens. They're both level 3. We will link them for Cherubini. We will activate Cherubini. We will send Water Enchantress. We will banish the Water Enchantress. We will add Rite of Eremesir to our hand. Let's get everything else in order. So, Rite, Fateful, Griffin, Dracoback. Okay. So now we will activate the Rite. We will summon the token. We will place the Fateful face up. And now we can trigger Birth to reborn the Unicorn. Trigger Fateful, add Dracoback, trigger Fateful again. Add Griffin Rider, discard Dracoback. Effect, equipped a token. Special summon Griffin Rider. And that is just off of 2 level 7s. 2 level 7s gets us 8 cards. And then the funny thing is, Dracoback cannot die by battle or card effects while you control a token. The token is 2,000 attack and defense, can't die by battle once, so it's like a little soft lock. Can't kill this, they can't kill this in battle once. You have an Omni Negate with Griffin Rider to protect this board. And you have Unicorn to rip Zeus out of their extra deck so that they can't just mass wipe you, which is really nice. Post side deck, I typically hold Griffin Rider for like, if they Lightning Storm this, I let it. If they Lightning Storm back row, I let it happen because this will just re-equip, and I get to hold my Omni Negate because like I don't really need this. This is just off 2 level 7, so I technically have 3 other cards in hand. If I committed like a Fenrir as well, then I would have Unicorn as follow up. So like I don't need these. So I just let it die. So people are just gonna try and bait the Omni Negate. You're just gonna hold this. If they evenly you, then you want to use it. They have 2, get fucked, I guess. But the thing with evenly is you're forced to keep the token, which is really annoying because the token's gonna be banished face down. So that's what I was doing all weekend. At least once a match, I was doing this. If you shifted them, you can't do this, but like you shifted them, so you should be way ahead anyway. But yeah, that's the deck. Very fun, very spicy, very cool. I enjoy it. It's not quite degenerate yet. But come new stuff, they get macro Cosmos on legs that it's a quick effect banish. You get to use Shangri-La's effect to lock down all 5 zones within 2 turns. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Unicorn is a 1-card combo. It's so dumb. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys test out the deck for yourself. Let me know what you think. I will catch you all in the next one. Enjoy your coffees. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.